Welcome, gang. It's another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Marketing for the rest of us, yes? So here's the truth, right? A truth that spans across all areas of your life. And that is that it's messy. It is messy, right? Relationships, messy. Health, fitness, working out, messy. Your career, parenting, messy. Look, it's all messy. You don't get a pass in life from it not being messy. And yet, isn't it interesting that somehow in marketing, when it comes to marketing, we feel like it shouldn't be messy, right? We know that parenting is messy. We know that relationships can be messy. We know that finances can be, we know that life, all of life can be messy. And yet when we show up to market ourselves and our business, we sort of feel like it shouldn't be, or we're uncomfortable when it is. And the thing about marketing, gang, is that just like relationships, you have to move through it. You have to move through it. You can't sit on the sidelines of marketing and then hope to just jump in the game and be good. You've got to practice. You've got to show up. I heard a video today where they talked about courting your message, courting, right, or dating your purpose, dating your message, right? In other words, imagine spending time looking into and inquiring about what it is that you have to say. Right? Relationships, marriages aren't built overnight. It's conversation after conversation after conversation. And the same is true in marketing. For you, listen, if you think about it this way, it really works, right? Marketing is relationship with the people you're trying to serve. That, gang, is marketing. And the fruit of that relationship is a sale. Now, marketing isn't the sale, but it is a sale is the fruit of marketing, of that relationship. And just like in an intimate relationship, in marketing, it's a conversation after a conversation after a conversation. And sometimes those conversations go well, and sometimes they don't go well. But you still have to show up and have the conversation. And when you're new to it, when you're trying it out, when you're going live for the first time, or you're doing videos, or you're trying to write a blog post, you're trying to get in the game, there's all sorts of things that come up for you. All the chatter, all the stuff in your head, you start second guessing yourself. God, that sounded stupid. I shouldn't have done it that way. I should have looked at the camera this way. My lighting was bad. My sound was bad. And you have all this chatter. But that's not unlike the first date you had, right? With somebody. When I was dating my wife and the different conversations we had, and I was like, man, does she like me? Right? Did that go well? I'm not sure that went well. And relationships are this entire game of putting yourself out there and seeing if they receive you, right? I remember when there was a moment I had been interested in my wife. We'd been hanging out for 4 months in college, and it was January. It had snowed. We were on our college campus, and I had invited her to my dorm room for the DTR, right? The define the relationship conversation. And I had written it all out. I had sort of thought through it all, right? And I could look at it. I was probably up on the 6th floor, and I could look out from my dorm room window, and I could see her coming down the hill across the campus. And I ran downstairs, and I hid in a bush, and I made a snowball, and I tried to ambush my girlfriend, who's now my wife, with a snowball. Actually, she wasn't even my girlfriend. I don't think we were just hanging out. And I was nervous. I didn't know what to do. I was like, and so I threw a snowball, and she thought that was weird. And then we came up to my dorm room, and I had this conversation. I think I even read her the letter. I don't even think I said it. I was like, I have to read this to you. And I basically, for 2 pages, read my heart to her that I had written down. And then I was like, and then she was super quiet. So I'm like, I don't know, did I just totally bond? Did I totally misread all the cues? Like, now this is January, over Christmas break, we had like multiple 2-hour conversations on the phone. So I was like, I think I had feelings, and I was sharing this, right? And I'm like, But she wasn't giving me anything in return. I was like, did I totally strike out on that? Right? And I'm like, so what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts? And she said, well, you've had a lot of time to think about this, right? And that was kind of like all I got. I mean, she didn't say like, ew, I think you're gross and I'm going to go away. But that's kind of all I got, right? And sometimes in marketing, it's like that too. You may write it out and then maybe you just read it, or maybe you try to recreate it straight to the camera and it didn't go well and you didn't get any likes and nobody commented. And then after the silence sits on you for a couple hours, you're like, dude, that sucked. That was really uncomfortable. I'm not sure I'm going to do that again. And so you go through, I think in relationships, it's you see something you want. You're like, I want this. I wanted that relationship with my now wife, right? I'm like, I'm in it. And we have good conversations, so I'm willing to stick it out. It's harder sometimes in marketing, especially in social media, because you're not standing on a stage in front of people. You can't gauge their reactions. You guys aren't giving me a ton of hearts and likes right now. I saw somebody give me a heart, thank you. Right, and there's one comment that I can't read, it's too far away, right? But you can't see that in social media, which makes it harder. It makes it harder for you to gauge where people are at. And so then different than a relationship with a human that you know you want to have a relationship with, in marketing, you're like, I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know if I want a relationship with my message. I don't know if I want a relationship with the people who watch this. And so then it's just really easy to quit. It's just really easy to quit. And so we do, most of us. I did. But when you shift perspective that, first of all, marketing is messy. If you can just embrace that, marketing is going to be messy, then at least you're prepared for what's coming. And you don't have unmet expectations about it all. And you can sort of build yourself up for what's coming, right? Which is you keep delivering message after message after message, because why? Why? And maybe this is the thing, right? In a relationship, you know why. You're like, I want to be with that person. In your marketing, though, if you haven't done the work and you don't know why, like, what are you marketing for? Another transaction? That doesn't move you, doesn't move your soul, and it sure as hell doesn't move the soul of the people you're trying to reach. You can't market from a place of trying to create a transaction. You have to market from a place of relationship, just like I did with my wife. You have to do that with the people you're trying to serve. I'm doing that with you right now. Right? This is marketing. Now, it doesn't feel like marketing, right? This is me coming out to you with the truth of marketing, the truth of what I've seen. But it's creating relationship. That's my intention, right? That's my intention, is that this conversation creates relationship with you. And that the next time you see my Facebook Live, you're like, when this guy talks, I want to listen. Or maybe you don't say that. That's fine too, right? In which case, the next time you see my Facebook Live, you'll keep scrolling. But those of you that resonate with what it is that I say, right? Now we have the beginnings of a relationship. But it's because I know why. I know why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because for years I wrestled with my message, with my marketing, with growing my business. I'm like, I was trying to make it fit. I was trying to understand it, to make it fit. How does this all work together? And now I'm on the other side of that, right? I have a point of view. I have a POV about marketing and about what this is all for. But it took time. It took time. You can go back through my videos over the last 3-4 years and you can see the evolution of what the message is, how I spoke about it, even how I showed up, my energy in my videos. You can see that. But look, the thing is, you got to attach a why to what it is that you're doing with your marketing. Otherwise, you won't stick it out. The messiness won't be worth enduring if you don't know why you're doing it. And so here's a good place to go to work, okay? In your marketing, again, if your marketing is simply for a transaction or to quote unquote grow your business, it's not going to be enough for you to stick it out. You won't stay with the messiness of marketing if that's why you do marketing. But if you do marketing like this, Facebook Lives, posts, social media, shows, podcasts, all that stuff, if you do marketing, because you have some type of conviction in your gut of a way of something that's broken that you have figured out, and you are wanting to help the people who are wrestling through the broken thing that you saw or that you've moved through, well, then that is how you find the why. That is how you link up your why to the messiness of marketing. You're like, I keep doing these messages because I believe in my gut that this matters. It matters. Guys, it matters to me that you get comfortable with the messiness of marketing, because I believe that each of you has important work to do in the world. You have something to say. You have something that life has taught you. And most of you are on the sidelines, not getting in the game because you're afraid of the messiness. You have to get in the game. That is my belief, because your important work is going to make a difference for other people. And in fact, I think you want that. I think you as a leader want to help people. You want to make a difference for people. And in 2019, social media and posting and podcasting and this thing is an important thing for you to get comfortable with. It's going to be messy, but you need to get comfortable with it. And here's the good news, okay? The good news is it's going to be messy until it's not. It was messy with my wife, and now it's not. It's not. We have an understanding. Well, we'll be married 19 years in August. 19 years in August. We have enough history together, enough at-bats, enough conversations under our belt that we think like each other, like we are two halves of a whole. But that didn't happen overnight. That took, and it wasn't like that after even a year of marriage, right? Years of trying to figure out how do we communicate through the messiness of figuring each other out. And you are moving through the messiness of marketing and trying to figure it out, and you need to stick it out. And the thing that's going to have you stick is linking it up to why you do it. And it's not about growing your business. Marketing needs to be about the impact and the difference you want to make in the world. And if you're, notice that you won't be able to stick it out also if you're borrowing other people's ideas. If what you're doing is regurgitating somebody else's truth, you're not going to stick that out either. The only place you can stay in the messiness of marketing and move through it until it's not messy is speaking from your own truth. What are the problems in the world that you see? What solutions has life taught you? Like, what have you lived from? What have you figured out about life? And that is where you build a tribe from. That is where you build fans from. That is where you speak truth that actually creates transformation over there, because they can smell whether it's true or not from you. And you can smell it too. So that, gang, that is how you move through the messiness of marketing, right? You link it up to why you're doing it. And you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and you keep doing it in all of its messiness until it's not messy. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's a great episode tonight. We'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Until then, see ya.